Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood Austin. Welcome back.
I love it when you start laughing and I have nowhere to go. It's my favorite thing. It really is my favorite thing. When you just start laughing right in the middle of the startup,
oh, God.
It's so fun for me.
You're fun. That's the moral of the story there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Welcome into the first edition of the new year, really. We did our year-end wrap-up.
Yeah. So this is the first episode of 2025, really, as we're going forward. So let's go.
We did the one on New Year's Day that was, our look back at the year before, and now here we are. And the show's going to have a little bit of a different feel this year. I'm excited about that.
Everybody just settle in.
Settle in.
Yep.
I'm excited. Okay.
Settle in, I said.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to settle in.
Take your headphones off. I'm having a hot flash. I don't even know what's happening.
I love it when you start disrobing during the show. That's awesome.
Ooh, that's real. I've got a birthday coming up at the end of this month. I'm going to be 54. And
54 what?
Years old.
Old?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were 44.
And so look at that magic trick.
Hey, will you hand me my coffee cup? I'm sorry to do that during the show.
Oh, golly.
So thank you.
So I'm going to have a birthday at the end of the month, but I am accepting gifts. Ulta gift cards, always a winner.
Okay.
Let's see, what else would I be accepting? What do you call that? Credits for Audible credits for books to listen to.
Books. I want to say a book on tape, but that's not a thing anymore. They're no longer books on tape.
Here's something that's interesting. So I just finished The Mountain Is You, speaking of Audible books, and it's an incredible book by Brianna Wiest. If you're interested in a book recommendation, The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. We'll link it below. That's a lie. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to do that either.
But Google is free. So this book I just finished on Audible. It was fantastic, but it took me like 2.5 months to get through it because it's heavy, right? I'm going to tell you what the subtitle is in just a second, and then you'll understand. But I started a new book. I don't remember the title. Something about anxiety. It's about anxious attachment. Listen, save your judgment. But I can't stand the voice. It's an AI voice that's reading this new one that I just got.
Not a real person?
Trash. You can totally tell it's an AI voice, and it's absolute trash. I can't listen to it. I tried speeding it up. I tried slowing it down. Garbage. So I wasted my credit.
Yes. I was talking to one of the kids the other day about audiobooks, and they were talking about how the audiobook that they are enjoying right now was read by Michael Rooker, who is an actor, and he read one of my favorite audiobooks, Pet Sematary, which is a Stephen King novel that I listened to when I moved. This is how old this audiobook is. I listened to it on cassette. It was like 6 cassette tapes when I moved from Louisiana to Washington 21 years ago. Wow. Yeah, and Michael Rooker read the book, and it was great. He's awesome, by the way.
Well, he should read this new one that I'm listening to because I'm going to not be able to listen to it. So, but I am accepting also just, for the back to the birthday thing, because it's my show. I am accepting books, but I would like Let Them by Mel Robbins. It's Mel Robbins' new book, Let Them. And basically anything on anxious attachment, anxiety, whatever you want to, anyway. The Mountain Is You. The subtitle of this book is Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery. So you decide if you want to jump on that or not. It is heavy, and it was heavy for me because it was a lot of self-discovery about what? Why is that fun? Okay, all right. Why is that funny?
It's funny to me because I don't have anything new to discover personally.
You
Self-discovery
might be surprised.
sounds nutty to me. That's all.
You might be surprised at what you could discover.
It's like I've said, I have absolutely zero interest in introspection. There you go. Okay.
You would also benefit from The Mountain Is You.
Maybe.
I think
it'd be work
Here's
to
what I
read.
think. No, I think what you'd realize is you do have introspection. You just don't call it that.
Okay.
I think that's what you'd probably realize.
I would much rather talk about my feelings with you than sit and think about my feelings. Does that make sense? I have no interest in being in a space where I'm thinking about how I feel. That just seems gross to me. It does. I don't like it. But what I do like to do is discover new things about myself while talking to you. And you're like, ha.
So you would love therapy.
I have therapy every day with you. I would love therapy, and I do love therapy. And it's because I was raised by a mother who thought of herself as a new wave therapist.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It was all about feelings. We talk about feelings. They're very important.
Oh, yeah. That's opposite of how I was raised.
Right.
I was raised by a woman who was like, choke it down. Choke on your feelings.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, get over it was her favorite.
Yeah,
phrase.
that was not the conversation in my home.
I did a little better than she did, but not. I'm much more the feeling parent now,
right,
with my grown kids,
and that's the way to be,
than I ever was when they were little.
Yeah.
So,
and I think my kids think of me as the safe space in their lives, and I think your kids think of me as the safe space in their lives too.
I would hope they see me as a safe space.
You are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Though?
It's like we're like what's that workout place? The Judgment Free Zone. Planet Fitness. We're like Planet Fitness. We're the Judgment Free Zone.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's not to say we don't have opinions, but we don't have judgment for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you have something to add? Yeah. That's a TikTok trend. We listen and we don't judge, and then you say horrible things that you do or think about the other person. And
I gotcha.
They have to. We can't do that trend because I don't keep things from you,
and I don't think terrible things about anybody.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. We were talking a few minutes ago about restaurants.
Yeah.
And we actually. Before I get off onto that. If you have a book recommendation or a book that you have a goal to read this book in 2025, send it to me. Comment below. I don't know how that works, but and tell us what it is, because I love books and I love to read. And to be fair, I love to listen to them, but I will read a book as well. So I would love your recommendations. What are you reading this year? Tell me.
I think that's great. And, we have a creative director now. Ada Grace is our creative director. So she's going to actually be able to do the things you're talking about for our show. I don't know how to do any of that either. But she's going to be able to do that because we need to make this show in 2025 more relevant and less businessy.
Yeah.
You tell me all the time I don't let down my hair enough on the podcast, that I'm
let it down, David.
Too much professional broadcaster. Let's keep this thing going.
Yeah. Well, that's ingrained in you.
And it's good constructive criticism to hear from our creative director, Ada Grace, that let her rip. We could be a little, more loose, a little loosey-goosey, Speaking of loosey-goosey, I am sad to say I woke up this morning to the news of the passing of Bob Uecker. Do you know Bob Uecker?
I don't know who that is.
He's a former professional baseball player who was, by all accounts, mediocre at best. And when he retired from the game, he became kind of a comedian and public personality. And he was in all kinds of baseball-related broadcasting and commercials. He was the Miller Lite spokesperson for years and years and years. Great taste, less filling. Funny guy.
How do you spell his last name? I'm curious. Oh, right at the top.
Well,
Bob Uecker.
Yep. There he is right there.
Oh, that guy.
Born January 6th, 1934. Died
Dead.
Yesterday.
Dead.
Today. Died today. Today dead.
Huh.
Yeah. Funny guy in all kinds of television and films from my youth. And if you ever had the pleasure of listening to him, like Call a Game, hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious guy. He used to go on Johnny Carson all the time, too. And,
really?
Yeah, and do self-deprecating jokes about his mediocre baseball talent. He told one story once where he was not a very fast runner. And so to make it look like he was going faster, he swung his arm so he'd knock his hat off his head. And it would make him look faster. Yeah. Funny guy. Funny guy. He did a one play-by-play, and he says, "Can't we even get a goddamn hit?" And you could hear the lady producer go, "Hey, we're not allowed to say goddamn." And his response on the air is, "Well, nobody listens to this crap, so it's going to be fine."
I feel like that with our podcast. Sometimes I say, like, for both of you who are listening,
right?
That's
true.
Which isn't true, and you remind me all the time, but I always think that way. It keeps me loose.
There you go. Loosey-goosey. We could make fun of ourselves and everything we do, though, and we'd be a little more like Bob Uecker, because that's what he did. He was a hilarious guy.
That's good stuff.
And, my cousin Pete Zegers probably based half his life on Bob Uecker.
Huh.
College baseball player, got drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, self-deprecating humor, loves Bob Uecker. I should call Pete. You know what? This is a good reminder to call Pete. I should call him.
Call your cousin.
See how he's dealing with the death of Bob Uecker.
Oh, yeah. There
great broadcaster, great pitch man, hilarious comedian.
Okay, well, mazel tov.
Yeah, there you go, on Bob Uecker. Okay, so you wanted to talk about restaurants. What were you saying?
I was going to say, somebody sent us a recommendation. If you when you send your recommendations, leave them below.
Ada knows how to make that happen.
We will go and check it out. And someone told us to go to
Imbibe and Chow
Trattoria in Pasco. So I don't. Somebody said it's a really, really good Italian restaurant.
Yeah, my buddy Kyle. There it is. You just pulled it up on.
Peter did too. Our son Peter said it's exactly his favorite restaurant. So the Chow Wagon.
And I had never
Chow Down. That's funny.
Never heard of Chow before.
Explore Chow Trattoria.
Yeah. And they have a wine bar and coffee shop called Imbibe, and it's all part of it.
Oh.
So they're open at Imbibe, they're open for like lunch and refreshments.
Well, they're speaking my language. Our menu features simple, fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
That's definitely my language. So we're going to check it out. I want to know if you've been there. If you have, tell us what you thought of it, and get that to us so that we can take those thoughts with us when we go.
Kyle says it's great. He messaged me on Facebook and is like, "This is the place I was talking to you about."
Yeah.
They went last week for dinner to Chow. And I said, "Oh, well, tell me all about it," and blah, blah, blah. And he sent me the info here.
Nice.
The cocktails look good, too.
Yes, I will go with you.
Ashley's new fashion has mezcal in it. Interesting.
Menu, there we go. Oh, yeah. This looks like a typical kind of Italian. Antipasta ensalada, spaghetti handcrafted, bolognese.
Wild mushroom ravioli. I don't know how wild those mushrooms are, but I hear it gets pretty crazy. Bucket of fish.
Okay, so we're going to check that out.
Yep.
But I kind of want to know what you think if you've been. I know we've heard from a couple people that it was really, really spectacular. So we're going to go check that out. Again, if you have another recommendation for us, send it to us. Leave a comment. Ada asked us right before we started if we had any New Year's resolutions. Do you have any New Year's resolutions for 2025?
I don't know is the answer.
Why don't you know?
I don't really think that way.
I don't either.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I want to...
This is like our dirty confession time.
I want to continue to grow our sphere,
Yeah.
and do that in business and in personal lives, and grow our sphere so that we can be more effective, make more positive movements in the world.
I think I would say the same thing. I would like to get to know more people. We've made some really good, fun, interesting relationships and met some really awesome people this last year, both personally and professionally. And I'd like to do more of that.
Yep.
That sounds fun to me.
Yep. I'd like to play more music. So, I play my trombone and I play a euphonium in the community band. And I'm so sad. I found out last week that we're now in the winter rehearsals for community band. The concert is going to be when we leave. When we're on our cruise is the next concert. So
I'm not sad about that.
Well, I'm a little deflated about that.
I see.
You know what I mean? So it's fun for me.
Yeah.
In fact, this week we had something else going on, and I didn't feel like I needed to go to the rehearsal because I can't do the show.
Right.
I'm sad about that. So I want to play more music.
Okay.
Practice more, which we can do. We've moved into a house, so I'm not stuck with the condo regulations that I can't play an instrument anymore. So that's great.
Yeah, I still get jumpy when what happened the other day? It was a loud sound in the house, and I got like nervous, like, oh, I got to turn that down because the neighbor, but we don't have those neighbors anymore.
Right, they're gone.
So,
and if anybody can hear...
If you too would like to get out of where you are and into a new place, we can help you with that.
Sherwood Austin Real Estate Solutions. The session with Londa and David is proudly brought to you by the fine folks at Sherwood Austin Real Estate Solutions. Boy, they like helping people make all the right moves, don't they?
They sure do. SherwoodAustin.com. You can find out all about that.
I like that. That was a good little live add-in there. Loved it.
But yeah, well, I went yesterday to get my stretch at Stretch Labs.
Yep.
If you have not tried Stretch Labs in Kennewick, Washington, you absolutely should. There might be one in your neighborhood. If you're listening someplace else, go try Stretch Labs. I love it. It will improve your life.
The business review nobody's asked for. Stretch Labs in Kennewick, Washington.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I went yesterday, though, and my stretcher, as they call them, was telling me, like, hey, you sell real estate. I really like you. I look so forward to seeing you when I see your name on the schedule. And so I was excited for you to get here today. I'm looking at maybe making a move this year.
Awesome.
I'd love you to help me with that. He works on cars and he doesn't have a garage right now in his current house.
I know $1 million property that right now we can put him in with not only a garage for him to work on a car, but it might have a lift in it. I know a couple of places like that we can get him in right now.
I don't know that he's looking to make that big of a jump, but if you are, we also can help with that. Anyway, that was kind of fun. I'm there it's funny because when I go to stretch, it's the one time of the week that I leave my phone in the car.
Okay.
And I don't think about work at all.
Okay.
And it's just like a little self-boundary that I've set up because I am, as most realtors, glued to my phone all day, every day. And so it's just my one time of the week, that I feel completely unburdened. And so it was really fun that he started talking to me about that because it came out of left field. I didn't expect it.
Right.
So, it was great. I love that. Stuff like that. Like I want more of that in 2025.
Sure.
Where we're just enjoying our lives, open to the business coming, and it shows up. And I don't mean to sound, hocus
it's the law of
pocus
attraction
about that or anything, but yeah.
The secret is the law of attraction, right?
Yeah, it's
like when you're thinking about somebody and your phone rings and it's that person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely believe that we communicate non-verbally.
Yeah.
And through some kind of frequency. I don't know how it works, and I don't think it sounds crazy.
It's energy, right?
People can feel, it's just like if you're having a terrible day, people feel a dark cloud come into the room when you come into the room. They do. We have some kind of extrasensory perception and broadcast ability to attract and repel things. And if you're open to business and to helping others, people will feel that you're open to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If your goal truly is you want to help people, people feel that.
Right.
And they feel similarly if your goal is just to make money.
In Ninja Selling, Larry Kendall's sales program, call it, and you can Google that, Ninja Selling. It's super good for all kinds of things, not just business. But
you're really quiet when you're ninja selling.
Yeah. We tiptoe.
Do you know the story of ninjas?
No, and
I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going with ninja selling.
Okay.
They were secret warriors. They were gardeners.
I'm going to put a pin in ninja selling. David, tell me more about ninjas.
Nope.
Do it.
They were gardeners, and the shoguns were the reigning class, and the emperor was afraid there was going to be some kind of rebellion, so he couldn't talk to the other shoguns about it because they're the fighters. They're the warring class, right? So what did he do? He trained the gardeners to be secret warriors at night in the shadows. They're ninjas. That's a real thing.
That's real.
Yes. That's a real thing.
That's actually kind of cool.
It is really cool. Okay, ninja selling, go.
Okay, that's interesting. The reason that they named it Ninja Selling is because the original ninja, Jimmy Dunlap, he was the top sales guy at the Group Inc. in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Okay.
But they never saw him. This makes sense why they call it Ninja Selling.
Yeah.
So they never saw him. He'd come in the office every so often and gone again. So, but he consistently had the top numbers in the office. So what they did is they started studying
what he was doing,
his process, and they found out it was 100% relational.
Yeah.
Everything was relational. He only stopped in the office when he needed to
print something out,
run a CMA or do a whatever. And so the whole Ninja Selling book that you can get, and then you can attend a week-long training. They call it installation, where it's kind of the deep training of the system. But the whole thing is live your life, make your life count.
I got you.
And, make sure that you're, producing, but it not at the expense of your life. Live your life and do business while you're living your life.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the idea about it. So, but anyway, in Ninja Selling at installation, they talk a lot about your vibe and your energy and how being a step-down transformer for your clients.
Sure.
And what that means is a step-down transformer in electrical engineering is a transformer with an iron core.
Right.
So the high voltage comes in. The iron absorbs the high voltage and it puts out low voltage.
Right.
And so he talks a lot about make sure your energy is in such a place that you can be that for your client, because, buying and selling a house is it's a lot of emotion.
Sure.
It is. I don't care who you are. It's a lot of emotion. Moving is a pain. And so in those heightened emotions, when your client or the other agent or the whomever comes at you, learning to really hold your vibe steady, and you take all that high voltage in and you put low voltage out when you have to talk to the next person who needs the information. Energy and vibe is a lot of what they talk about in Ninja. And so, we were just talking this morning about energy. I have a terrible fear of dying.
Right.
I mean, it's bad.
And
we were talking about, you were saying your energy, is going to still be around.
God, people are going to think we're weirdos, right? Because we're talking about extrasensory perception early in the show. Now we're talking about energy. Yes. Here's what I said. energy, the theory is energy doesn't die. It just changes, it transforms, but it doesn't.
Well, I think there's science, right? That's like when you at the moment of your death, your body weighs X number of ounces less than it did right before you died. Right. And they're like, what is that? And some people call it your soul, and some people call it your spirit, and some people say it's just the energy.
Well, we are electromagnetic creatures.
Sure.
We are. And that's why if your heart stops, they hit you with electricity to get your heart to start again, right?
Clear.
The energy left. Where'd it go? We don't know. People tell stories about having out-of-body experiences where they're like looking down at their bodies.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe that's as simple as the energy that is the essence of you has jumped out of you, left this mortal coil, right? And now maybe you're sentient, maybe. And so you're looking at...
What does that mean?
Aware.
I tell you, don't use big words.
But maybe that energy is aware. And now I'm not talking about spirituality, and I'm not talking about religion or any of that. But what I'm saying is every major religion talks about how you have a soul. Well, maybe that's the energy that's in your body. Maybe. So when you've heard people say, yeah, my mom was there and then she died and then she wasn't there. Her body was, but she wasn't there. There was something different. Yeah. When my mom died, it was like looking at a coffee table. It wasn't like looking at my mom. You know what I mean? She clearly was not there.
I gotcha.
Essence gone. So where'd it go?
I don't know.
Well, if energy doesn't die, but bodies do, she's somewhere else. Right?
Interesting.
That's what I would guess.
Yeah. So we were talking about like, people say they feel the presence of their loved ones who've passed or whatever.
Yep.
I've never felt that, but you said that you've kind of felt like, your mom is with you or whatever. I think it's really sweet. Yeah. Maybe I haven't been open to it.
Maybe. Your receiver's not turned on.
Okay.
Turn on your receiver and maybe you'll hear it.
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
So back to your goals for 2025 now that we've got off in the weeds.
Well, my goal for 2025 is to
more
be more
music
and to be more helpful.
Relationships, right? What about disc golf?
I'm going to keep playing disc golf. I've been playing every day. I love it. It's fun.
The way that you have gotten into disc golf has been crazy. You've been playing, I would say, almost every day, sometimes twice a day since August.
Yep. That's right. I want to get really good so that I don't embarrass James when he takes me out with his friends.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Right now, I'm just the fun uncle that's there playing with the boys. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to start beating them. So I'm working on it.
Okay. I finally played my first game of disc golf.
Yep.
It wasn't good. Let's just put it that way.
It was fine.
But I will tell you this. I had a great time.
It was fine, though.
I don't have the power yet. I don't have anything.
It's all technique, though. And I'm learning watching James play. You've got a lot of his body movement style. Oh. The mechanics of your body is very similar to him. You both have the
well, then there's hope. There's hope for my disc golf game.
Frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's very related to you. There's no question about it. And so when you move, you look a lot like him moving.
Oh, okay.
When you're playing disc golf. So once you have the technique and the form down, you're going to be great.
Yeah.
I don't have the technique and the form down. I'm just kind of strong and dumb. You know what I mean? So I can throw it
and that's how I like them.
I can throw it far because I can rip my body to do that.
Yeah.
But there's a way, which I don't know yet, to have smoother technique and not have to work as hard with your body. And that's what I'm starting to learn.
I gotcha.
I'm starting to learn, but I don't know the answer.
It sounds to me like we're open to a lot of opportunity.
That's right.
In 2025.
That's exactly right.
That's what it sounds like to me. And that's pretty exciting.
It is pretty exciting.
I wonder what other people though have for their I'd be curious to hear from people if they're big New Year's resolution people, or if they just kind of are more like us, where you're like, I have a general idea of kind of where I want to go and what I want to do, but I'm not like a write down my goals.
Well, I think it's a little disingenuous to have New Year's resolution stuff, because you fall out of practice with that almost immediately. The biggest one is people join the gym, and 2 months later, they never go to the gym again.
Right.
And everybody's there on January 1st because they're all like, what you do on the first of the year is what you do every day. And 2 weeks later, the gym is empty again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really believe in that. What I believe in is setting your mind to do something and then do it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. It's not, we got to do a whole bunch of hocus pocus mumbo jumbo to do it. I want to play more music, so I'm in more music groups. I want to play disc golf, so I go play disc golf even if it's cold out and windy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about comfort. It's about wanting to be better at something. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's just like doing loans. When I'm working on loans, I don't do it because it's awesome. I don't do it because it's the most fun thing in the world. I do it because I'm good at it. And I've practiced it over and over and over again for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. It's just like you do in sales.
Yeah.
Same thing. You've practiced
Here's
it.
a great example of that. Yesterday, you were running some numbers for a client of mine, of ours. And you said, man, I don't know. I can't, this isn't going to work. And I said, figure it out, because it has to work.
Right.
And I mean, like, just like that. And I don't know, 5-10 minutes later, you said, I got it figured out.
Right.
It's going to work.
That's right.
And I think that's a good place to end.
Right there.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about being a step down transformer, hun, and you are that for me. So when I'm starting to get a little anxious, you can easily set me right in the right place by saying stuff as simple as, nope, you've got to make it work. Now make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
I like it. Thank you.
Well, Ada, it's on you now to make this look good and to tell people how to put their things at the bottom of the screen. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either, but send us all the stuff we said to send us.
There you go.
Link in the comment below. I don't know.
For Londa, Joanne, Sherwood, Austin, my name is David Austin, and this has been another edition of The Session with Londa David. We'll see you again next week.